Hello, good evening, and welcome to the third week of our design bootcamp. And in the previous weeks, we've learned the elements of design and the principles of design, and then we also learned the introduction to basic design softwares like Photoshop and Corel Draw. So this week we will go a little bit in depth into graphic design, where you'll be learning a lot of things you'll be designing, right? So we are going to treat flyer, poster, banners, and stationeries designs. So as a designer, you need to understand the difference between these things, because as a graphic designer, these are the things you are going to be working on. These are the stuffs your clients are going to be giving you to work on for them. So you need to understand what a flyer is, what a poster, what a banner, and what are stationaries. So coupled with that, you also learn logo design and branding in our last week. So quickly, let's understand flyer, poster, banners. So what is the difference between these three things? So basically, flyers are also referred to as handbills, leaflets, inserts, or circulars. And we also said they are usually a single printed sheet, smaller than posters, and are quite easy to distribute by simply handing them to individuals or left in stack for anyone to take. They can also be social media based. So what all this grammar is saying is flyers, flyers they are normally a single page document or designs, right? Which when you design them, you normally see them in banks. They are normally small, mostly A4 size or half A4, that's A5. So most flyers you are going to see like that. You just print them, and then maybe you are walking on the street, you give them out to people. Or there are some businesses like restaurant and others. What they normally do is they print their flyers, their business flyers, and then they take it to maybe supermarket, malls, and all that. So they stack them there. So when customers come in, they pick the flyer, they read, and then they absorb the content. So and then we also have e-flyers, right? So these are the ones you see on social media, the designs we do and post. So these are examples. This is an e-flyer. It is designed mainly for web and social media, right? And then this particular one is the printed one, the one maybe you see in malls, in eateries. So you just pick it, or banks. If you go to banks, you see they have a lot of flyers. You just tag them around for promotional purposes. So when you come in, you just go into the bank, you see them, and then you just pick them. Nobody will tell you to pick them. You see flyers, you pick them, you read, and then you absorb the content. So that is flyers. And then what are posters? Posters are promotional designs used to promote businesses or services in fixed locations. Unlike flyers, they do not need to be handed out, but need to be placed in a location, preferably one that has many visitors. So posters, right, they are a little bit larger than flyers, and then they are normally printed. Most posters are printed, right? Unlike flyers, I told you flyers, you can have flyers that are just for online purposes, which is like the most popular type of flyers nowadays, right? But then for posters, they are mostly printed, and then they are not printed like in bulk. You just go and keep it in one place. No, you go around and then you place them in strategic locations where people can see them, right? So examples of these flyers we have here, you can see this is a tall flyer design, so it will just be placed somewhere around the road, on the walls, stuff like that. So you just see them. And then this is yeah, an obituary flyer, right? Normally when someone dies, we see posters like placed around, right? And then there are political posters. This one is an example of a political poster which you print and then you place around. So now I guess you understand the difference between a flyer and a poster. So, and posters are mostly printed in like size, like the conventional standard sizes like A4, A3 and the rest, right? And then we have banners. So as a graphic designer, you also be designing banners. So what are banners? They are a long stripe of cloth-like material bearing a design, printed, placed in strategic locations to attract attention and promote business services. Banners are larger than flyers and posters and do not contain much text but have large pictures or illustrations. So yeah, banners are like normally big, right? And then the material used is not paper. They don't use paper to print banners, right? They use a cloth-like material. We call it flex. Yeah. So if you go to you want to print a banner, you go and tell them you want to print a flex, they will print it for you. So and then they are normally large, right? And then we said they don't have like plenty text. Take for example this MTN banner, you can see, because it's normally meant for people that are passing, so you don't want to like put plenty of text on your banners because someone will not stop his car just to be reading your banner, right? But then when you have illustrations, pictures, it is easier for your for the let's say for person you are trying to attract his attention, so it will be easier for him to like notice these illustrations. And then you add bold and big text, you can see it here, right? And then we have roll up banners. These ones are placed in offices and stuff like that, so these ones might contain a little bit more of text, but then also they are not meant to be wordy. They should not have like plenty text. And then we also have like political banners. You see them PDP, APC and stuff like that. So as a graphic designer, you also be designing banners. So I guess now you can differentiate between a flyer, a poster and a banner. Yes, and then banners are printed in feet, or let me say when you are designing, I said the other ones use conventional paper sizes, but then this one, since we are not using paper to print them, we are using flex, right? So you need to like know the size of the flex, and then flex are measured in feet. Yeah, so maybe you can have this one is 30 by 10 feet, this one might be 20 by 10. So that is how you design banners. So what are stationaries? Stationaries design, yeah, I guess I made a little bit mistake. Yeah, I didn't change the text from here. So so basically stationaries are like office documents, right, which you design and print for your clients. So like the letterheads, right? We have letterheads, we have envelopes, you can see them, discs, business cards and the rest. All these are stationaries which you are going to be designing as graphic designer. So we have some graphic designers that like that is what they do. They're just based on stationaries design, right? They design and print ID cards and stuff like that. So that is what they normally do. So and when you are trying to like design for a brand, right, when you are doing a brand design, a full branding, apart from the logo and stuff, you need to also design the stationaries for them, right? You need to design, maybe they have jotters, they have letterheads, pens, you can see them like bags. So you need to design all these stuff. That is, these are called stationaries, right? And then as a designer, you need to like understand the basics. So just like we've treated earlier, we are not going to be like teaching all these stuff like bit by bit. All of them have the same basics. So once you master the basics, you can do anything. You can see that the designs are virtually almost the same thing. They use the same tools and stuff like that. So you just need to understand the basics. It's not as if we are going to be teaching you poster design separately, flyer design separately. We are teaching you design in general, right? So for today's class, for the practical aspects, I have a little flyer, which it's a work actually given to me by a client. So I decided we are going to use it for our class today. Let me demonstrate to you how to design a flyer, right? So the client actually sent the brief to me on WhatsApp. So I read the brief and then I summarized it like this. So this is the content of the brief she gave me. This is what she wants. She wants a flyer. She does she wants to teach mini importation, right? So she wants a flyer for that. So she contacted me and sent the details. These are the details she sent that she wants on her flyer. So I'm going to design an e-flyer for her. It's not going to be printed. It's mainly for social media, right? So I will open up my Photoshop so that we go through it together. And then I made some research. You know, when you are given designs to do like this, you need to go on research, right? So I've done a little bit of research. You need to go, let's say the brief is talking about mini importation, right? So you need to, as a beginner especially, I will advise you, when someone gives you work, like don't try to do it like off head, right? Try to consult other designs, see how similar designs have been done before you start your own. So like I downloaded some resources which I'm going to use in the design, and then these are my case studies. These are the flyers I studied before embarking on this design. So I studied this one. It's going to open up now, so we are going to see what it looks like. So while I'm trying to open the picture, let me set up my page. So I will go to create new. We all know this. And then I will set up my unit to be in pixels, and then the pixel is going to be 2000 by 2000 pixels. This is what I use for my e-flyer designs, and then the resolution should be 300. And then the color mode, I told you guys RGB is for social media designs or online designs, while CMYK is for printed designs. If you want your design to be printed, use CMYK color mode. So but this is an e-flyer, so we are using the RGB mode. So we just create, and then we have our blank canvas. So we need to save it. Let's save it. Save as, save on your computer. So I'll save it in this folder that we are working on. I'll just call it importation flyer, right? So I'll save it. So yeah, our picture has opened up. So this is the picture I studied, like I make reference to before starting my design. Then there's another one here. You can see all of them are talking about mini importation, right? So I studied them, and then from there I know clearly what I want to do and how I'm going to do it. So, and we are going to do it together. So at the end of the class, I'm going to share the resources I used so that you can also use it to create the same flyer, right? So this is my blank canvas, and then this is the brief, right? So like I said, this is the title. So the title, she wants it to be like be your own boss. But then first I will want to like set up my background. So the first thing, I would like to add a gradient. Yeah, so I will just go to the default gradient and choose something like this. Yeah, I think this is cool for me. You can choose anyone. I think I prefer this, so I will select this. So this is my first layer, but then I want this blue to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to come here, click on it, and then click on the blue, and then I'll make it a little bit darker. Yeah, something like this. I think this is perfect. So hit on OK, and then I'm going to add an image to my background. So let me go to my resources. Let me see. Yeah, I think I like this. So I'll just click and drag this into my Photoshop, and then I'll drop it on the file I'm working on. Right. And I'll click on OK, and I would like to resize it. So you select your transformation tool, that's T. Here on your keyboard the shortcut is T, so you just resize it. Something like this, then you hit on OK. I don't really want it to be like this, so I will go to this. These are called blending modes, so you can just play around with them and see what they give you. So I think, let me see, something like this is cool. Then I'll reduce the opacity. I don't want it to be very, very visible, so I'll take it all the way down. I think 18 is cool. Yeah. So I'm going to lock my layer, so that when I'm adding text and stuff, when I want to edit them, it won't be hard for me, right? I think, let me see this blending mode, let's just leave that one. Yeah, so I'm going to lock it by hitting on this place, lock. I'll also lock the gradient layer. So I would like my text to be here, and then I would like a little picture depicting importation, just something simple depicting importation here. Then from the brief you can see this is the title, then this is the body, and then this is what she wants below, contact and everything. So I'm going to create a rectangle here, my rectangle tool. Yeah, something like this. And for the color, yeah, let me rearrange it. You can see that it's not like visible, very, very visible. So I will rearrange it from the layers panel. I'll take it up so that it will be the first layer you can see. And then for the color, I don't want this color. I will double tap, and then I want something blue, but then dark. Yeah, I think something like this works for me. This is okay for me. So you can see I'm using blue as part of my color palette, right, for this design. Yeah. So I would like to add the picture first. So let me see. So this, I actually want this, so I'll open it. I'm not going to drag it because it contains background, and I would like to remove the background first. So you can see this is it. So I would like to remove the background, right? Yeah. So to remove the background, you can use any tool. And let's try the subject. You just go to select subject. Let's see if it's going to select exactly the this truck for us, because this is just what I want. I don't want the flag and the background. So I guess from the last class you've learned how to remove background and stuff like that. Yeah, so I'm just trying to save time by following shortcuts. If you have time, just use the tools you've learned as a beginner to practice, right, and learn how to remove backgrounds properly. So I'm waiting for it to finish selecting my object. Sometimes it might select your object perfectly, sometimes it might not. I'm still waiting. You can see that it has done a relatively good job, but then it selected this star and I don't want it, so I'll go back and select my lasso tool, polygonal lasso tool, and then I will say subtract from selection. So this star that it has selected, I'll just go and say subtract it. So it has subtracted. This is now my new selection. And then if I zoom in a little bit, you will see that I don't want it to select this place, right, but it has selected it, so I would like to remove it. I will still select this one, and then the areas where it selected this, you close it. No, sorry, I'm supposed to use the add to selection. Yeah, so when you click 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 click, you can see it has removed that part. Same thing here. Yeah, and then I want this place, this is a background, so I want it removed, so I will change to subtract from selection. Click 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 click. So you can see same thing here. Click 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 click. So I'll zoom out. You can see I have my selection nicely, so I will right click and say select inverse, so that it will now leave the object and select the background, so that when I hit delete on my keyboard, you can see it will delete the background and leave the object for me. So I'll press Ctrl D to select. Right, you see these matching ants? Yes, these lines, these broken lines, right? When you have them and you have finished your selection, you want to like take them off, you just press Ctrl D. So that is that. Then I'll select my move tool, and then I'll move this, just click, left click and drag, and then I'll bring it into my design here. Yeah, so I want it to be a little bit larger, so I'll drag from the edge, and then I'm going to have something like this. Let me move it a little bit. I guess this is fine for me, so that is that. And then you can see that this place is not complete from the image I cut bar. So maybe let's say I want to like fill in this place. There are various tools you can use. I would like to use the clone. This is all, by the way, you must not like do this. I'm just trying to show you some of the tools you can use and how to use them. So maybe like, yeah, like to select this, so I'll alt and then I'll click. I want to copy this place, and then I want it to go all the way like this, right? and then I'll come, same thing here, I'll click, 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 click. Yeah, something like this. You can just play around with the tools and it will give you a perfect edge. Alright, so I want my picture there, and then now I'll go ahead and then I will bring in my text. So where is my brief? The title is Be Your Own Boss. So from this you can see how big the title here is. So for my own, I want it to be something like, so I'll select the text tool. Yeah, text tool. So I'm going to click. So the text says Be Your Own Boss. So I want the B, enter, your own. I want it like this. I want it here. Right. So yeah. The font, I'm going to change the font. There is a font I actually want to use. The name of the font is Ankle Pants, right? I think it's Ankle. Sorry. Yeah. Ankle Pants. Yes, this is the font. So I'll click on it. Oh wait, I need to select my text first. Now come over here and search for Ankle Pants. I know you don't have this font, so I have included the font in the files you are going to download. So I want to reduce the space between the B and your own. This is where you reduce it here, right? So when you click and drag back, you can see it's reducing. Something like this is cool. So this is it, and I want the boss to come here boldly. So I'll just duplicate this. I've shown you plenty ways to duplicate. You can just Ctrl J. Once you do that, you can see it has created another copy. All you need to do is drag it down, and then select your text tool, click, and then highlight and change your text boss. So I want it very big, so I'll select the transform tool or the move tool. So I'll click and drag like this. Yeah, I would like to put a ruler here, so it will just be like a guide for me. So I'll put my ruler here to be a guide for me. So yeah, this is like I've gotten my title. And also here I would like to just to create a little bit of emphasis to my design. I would like to add a cycle behind this container. So I'll select my cycle tool, something like this, and then the color, I would like it, I'll just double click. You can change the color from here, it will give you like colors, but then when you want to pick a color from a picture, I told you can just double click here, and then it gives you the eyedropper or color picker tool. So I'll pick this color. I want this color, then I want it a little bit saturated, so I'll just go like this. Yeah, something like this is cool. So I want it behind the image, right? So I'll just go to my layers and then I'll drag it down like this. Yeah, This is what I want, something like this, right? And then the opacity, I will drag it down. I don't want it to be too visible. Yeah, something like this works for me. This is cool. Let me increase it a little bit. Yeah. And then I also like to add another rectangle just for design, right? Like here. Like it to be blue, but then not this blue, a lighter color. So I'll double click, then something like this, something around here. I don't know if this is blue. So I'll hit on OK, and then I want it to like fade in or fade out. I don't want this part to be seen, so I will first of all rasterize this layer. Right click on the layer and then you rasterize it, then you click on the clipping marks here to add a layer marks. So when you go to your gradient, so you just hit on G. I think my workspace, sorry. I think something is wrong with my workspace. I think I played with it last night, so it's giving me issues. Let me just reset essentials, and then I'll close this. Close this. I'm still not seeing all the tools I want. The gradient tool I want to use is supposed to be here. I think this thing is on 3D mode, which is not what I want. Okay, let me just try graphic and web. Yeah, I think my tools are somehow back now. And then let me see. Still not seeing what I want. Oh yeah, it's here, gradient tool. So I think I'll go back to my essentials. Yeah, so when you select the gradient tool, you see it here together with other tools, the paint bucket. So when you select it, come here, make sure it's go to basics, click on the third one, make sure it's on the third one. So once you do that, you just come here somewhere in between the rectangle, and then you just left click and drag like this. So you can see it has faded out this part. And then I also like to take it behind the image, so I'll just drag it like this, and then I'll also reduce the opacity a little bit. Yeah, something like this. So you can see we are getting our design done already. So the next thing I would like to add the other things, right? Where is my brief? So I would like to add all these things first, right? So I'll just copy them here, and then I'll go to my text tool. I'll click, and then I'll paste, Ctrl V. I would like to change the font. I don't like this font for these ones, so I just want something simple, right? So let me see what tool I can get. Oh, need to select them first. I just want something like very simple, very basic. So I don't want a stylish font. Yeah, I'll use this, and then I'll reduce down the size. Something like this works for me. And this is too long. I'll break it into two. Just hit on enter, and then this should come this way. Yeah, I think something like this. Also like to reduce the space between them. Something like this works for me. I would like to increase the size a little bit. So I would like to increase the size of these ones. Yeah, something like this. Control and plus to zoom in, and then you can just select the hand tool or just hit space bar, hold it, you will see a hand. Then when you left click, you can drag around. So I just like to add points. I'll use my ellipse tool, then I'll hold shift, I'll drag and do something like this. And then for this one, the color, I would like it to be something like this orange. So I'll double click here, then it will give me the eyedropper, then I'll click here. Yeah, a little bit saturated, so I'll bring it here a little bit darker, hit on OK. So I have my first bullet point. I would like to Ctrl J to duplicate it, and then I will bring it down, Ctrl J again, bring it down. You can see we have. Then I would like to change this color, so I'll go to text, and then I'll highlight only this color, right? Then I'm going to my swatches. I'll just click on this same orange, just to create a little bit of contrast, right? Yeah. So I guess our blue, the blue on the background is too much, so I will go to my background, I will unlock it, I will double click it, and then from the gradient, the blue, double click, and then I will put it to be something light. Yeah, something like this. Then this one, I would like it to be a little bit lighter. Yeah, okay, and I will lock it again so it doesn't get in my way. So you can see I've done this, and then next I would like to add this one, master the basics of mini importation, right? Then it's going to be a little bit like larger than the other one, so I'll just go to text, and then I'll write it, master, caps lock, master the basics of. This will be different. I would like it to be the same color with this, and I would like it to be a little bit bold, so I will click on bold. So I would like it to be here, and then I will duplicate it, Ctrl J, and then I will move it down, select my text, highlight it, and then change it to mini importation. Hit on OK, select the transform tool, like it to be big, and you align it with this one, right? Yeah. Then just for a little bit of contrast, I would like to add a rectangle here, which is going to be orange in color. I'll select this. Yeah, think this works for me. So I will select everything here, then I will move it, no, select everything here, move it up a little bit so that I'll have more space. So you see, this is why I locked my background layer. So had it been you didn't lock your background layer, when you are trying to move around with these ones, it will select the background too. So that is why I locked my background layer. So then I would like to add here in this course you will learn and everything there. So I will highlight it, copy it, and then I will come over here, select my text tool, or let me just copy this one, then I'll edit it, say in this course, sorry, I want it to be in caps lock. In this course, you will learn select it. I'll change the color to this, right? But then I think this needs to be a little bit darker. So make it a little bit darker, yeah, something like this. So so these are the things you will learn in the course. So I will highlight them too, copy, and then I will duplicate this, and then this time around it will still maintain the blue color, and I will paste. Yeah, let's zoom in. Okay, I would like to change these ones to capital letter, like this. And then I'll just keep it somewhere around here. And I'll also like to reduce the space between the text. Something like this works for me. And then we have the premium offers, right? So I would like to list them. I'll take this a little bit down, so I'll put my premium offers here. So for the premium offers, I'll just want something like this, and then I would like it to be rounded edge, so you just drag it until the edge is round. Alright, select it, and then push it down a little bit. Right, then I'll write the text. Said premium offers, right? I'd like it to be a little bit white, not exactly white. Now move it here, select both of them, move them up a little bit, and then I would also like to create another shape, another rectangle. I'll put it right around here, but then I want the color to be this color. Yeah, then I want it behind the premium offer, so I'll drag it down, drop it, and then also I want the edges to be round, but then I just want the top edges, this one and this one, to be round. So if I do it now, it will round all the edges, but then if I uncheck this, and then you see if I increase this, it will only affect one of the corners. So I think 50 is okay. I'll also put 50 for the other side, so you can see I have that, right? So I'll push this picture a little bit like this. So I want this to be centralized with this one, so you can just select all of them, and then you hit here, align center. You can see everything is in the center now, right? So I'll list the premium offers here. I'll just copy this, bring it somewhere here, and then I'll copy my text, and then I'll just select my text, something like this. Also like the color to be this, so, and then I'll move it here. So here I'll just hit on enter, and I think I'm set here. Change these ones to capital letters, and then I'll push this in. So I would like to add bullet points for these ones, so I'll just move them a little bit here, and then let me add squares now. So I have a little square, blue color, and then I'll move it, duplicate it, and then I move it down, duplicate, move it down, duplicate, move it down again. And you can see that our flyer is almost done. Now I just need to add her contact details and stuff, right? Duration 1 week. The fee is free, right? So I'll just come here, text, and then I'll write duration. I would like it to be this color, so I'll put it somewhere around here. I'll just duplicate it, and we have the fee here, and then I'll duplicate it, move it, and then we have the contact, right? So duration, I like it to be in small letters. And then we have fee, hit on OK. Then we have call or WhatsApp, right? So this is going to be duration 1 week. So you select it. I would like the color to be this, and then I'll increase the size. This is fine. Just duplicate it. The fee is free, and then the WhatsApp number. You can see it from here. Just copy it, 07037306918. Oops, I will lock this layer so that I can select everything at once here. I like to push it in like this, so that I will select all of them, then I'll move them like this. So I'm pretty much done. Then I want to add a little bit pattern. right? So I'll just come to where my above all my background layers, right? And I'll just, let's say I want to use this pattern, I'll just click it, place it above the image, right? Something like this. Then I'll go to the blending mode till I get something like this darker color. Then the opacity, I'll take it down, kind of create a little bit of pattern on your design. I will reduce it to like, I think 3 is fine. So I guess our design is done. All we need to do is export or save as. You just say save as. Well, there are other things which we might discuss maybe in the class when we meet, or on the Telegram group, because there is more to it. We'll discuss more in our next class. So I'll just save it as, it's not showing me JPEG. I'll go back. That's because I did not select any layer. Let me just select a shape layer, then I'll just go back to save as. You can see JPEG, save it as JPEG, and then you're good to go. So I'll share all the resources used in creating this with you so that you can follow along as you watch the video. So I think that will be all for today's class. So we'll meet in the on the Zoom call, and then we'll discuss further if you have any challenge. So thank you very much and have a nice day.